I think our guest has arrived. Let's welcome Alfonso Quiroz. Alfonso, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining Maria and I. How are you?
Thank you for having us. Thank you. I appreciate you for letting me be here.
All right.
Welcome to WBAI on Sabor Latino, and we understand that you are running for City Council 25 in Queens.
That is absolutely right. That is Jackson Heights and Elmhurst in Queens. Best neighborhood in New York City by far.
The most diversified, right? The most diversified.
Yes. You will. Let me tell you something. You will walk down Roosevelt Avenue and you will hear about 100 different languages, 100 different countries. It is an incredible place to live. I think I've gained about 10 pounds just by living here by eating all the different foods. So you gotta be careful when you come over.
All
here.
right. Now, why did you decide to run? What's your background, Alfonso?
Well, I'm originally from the south side of Chicago. I'm German, Mexican, and Ukrainian. My dad's family is from Mexico. They came here about 100 years ago. And my mom's family came here before that. I actually was working for Vice President Al Gore in 2000. And they had me traveling all around the country. And one of the states, the last states they had me organized was the state of Florida. And that did not turn out well for us Democrats, as if you remember. I had no idea what to do then. Again, this was 20 years ago. So on a lark, I decided to drive up to New York City, threw all my clothes in plastic bags and threw them in the back seat of my car, drove up here and was calling everybody I know to say, hey, do you know a place where I could stay for one night, a bed, a floor, something, just for one night. And lo and behold, 20 years later, here I am. I've got a nice little family. I'm married to my husband, Jeff Simmons. We've got 2 little dogs. I got a great apartment, live in a wonderful neighborhood. And I'm running for city council. That can only happen in New York City. Unfortunately, not everyone has those that great advantage. And so what I want to be able to do is try to help other people to try to, get success in their life as well.
All right. And how are you doing? I mean, there's a crowded. How many candidates are there for this district?
Yeah, there's like 8 candidates that are running, and there's probably going to be a few more at the end of the day. With there's going to be liberal candidates or a libertarian candidate, or there may be more. But right now I'm focused on just sort of meeting as many voters as I possibly can. We're going door to door. I'm making calls into the district. This morning we were out on 34th Avenue meeting with voters at the farmers market. So we're doing really well. I'm feeling really good about this race.
All right. It seems to be fading. So basically, what makes you feel that you stand out? Are you the person that you feel could do the most for the heavily Latino populated district? And there's a significant gay community in this area as well, in the area of Jackson Heights. Am I correct?
That is absolutely right. This is the largest LGBT Latino neighborhood really in the country. I am the only openly gay candidate that's running. And I will tell you just a very quick story. It was about less than a year ago, maybe 6 months ago. Went to the doctor for a physical. They took my blood and everything came back fine. And on the bottom of the sheet, it said COVID. And I said, well, what is it in there with my doctor? I said, what does it say COVID on here? And he said, well, you tested positive for the antibodies. And I was shocked because I wasn't sick at all. And I will tell you, Nando, I was really cool during this whole, last year. I knew everything we were going to do during the pandemic, and then during George Floyd, everything else. Knew what, we had enough food for ourselves and for our dogs. My folks were okay. Was really in charge of everything. So I'm sitting there with my doctor, and he says, well, you can't give your plasma, because that was my next step. I was going to give my plasma.
All right.
And I said, well, why not? And he said, well, because you're gay. And I said, well, what does that have anything to do with it? And he said, well, there's a ban on gay people giving blood, and there's a ban on gay people giving plasma. And I will tell you, I'm not a crier, but the only thing I could think of is while I'm sitting there with my doctor, I just felt this huge lump in my throat, and then the waterworks started. And it was really not so much that he couldn't take my blood or my plasma, it was really the whole pandemic. I mean, I could feel it in my brain that something had snapped. And, I knew that this was sort of like, the whole year had just sort of fallen upon me. But it just went to show me that whoever made that decision at the CDC, that there was not a gay person at the table.
All right.
And when there's not a gay person at the table, bad things can happen, even when they don't expect it to happen, even when they're not outwardly doing something anti-gay. But when there's not a gay perspective, bad things can happen to gay people. So I want to be that gay voice, from our district, from this very gay district here,
all right.
Very diverse district. But I feel like that's an important voice to be heard at the table.
All right.
And it's very important to be inclusive and the diversity. That does make a difference at the table when decisions are being made, when policies are being made. You're absolutely right about that.
That's right. And again, it wasn't that they were doing anything on purpose. They just didn't know. So you really do need those voices, diversity. You need that to be at the table, to make sure that there's a seat at the table. And if there isn't, bad things can really happen.
Okay. Alfonso.
I understand. I'm sorry, Nando. I'm sorry. I know that you support unions. Is that correct? You're a big supporter of unionizing?
I will tell you, Maria, the reason why I'm sitting here right now is because my father was a member of the Steelworkers Union, 1834, District 31. He and a number of my family members built train cars in the Midwest. And I am not a union buster. I am came from a very, very big union family and very, very proud of it. That's the reason why I'm sitting here today.
All right. And what can you leave the audience with that you think will, if someone is sitting on the fence, will sway them to come over to you, to vote for you? What do you want to leave them with? Because we've got to move on. Alfonso, what's the message that you want to leave with the audience and potential Alfonso Quiroz voters? Potential. Go ahead.
Well, I would tell them that I think that we need rational and sober leadership in this next year, and I think I could provide that. I also think that this next year, in the future, people are going to look back at this year and think this was the time when they saved New York, and this was the neighborhood that saved New York, and these were the people that helped save New York, and that time is now. This neighborhood is one of those neighborhoods, and we are one of those people. So it's important for all of us to step forward and do all we can. And I would tell your many, many listeners to go to www.alfonsonyc.com to check out all my issues and all the platforms that I'm discussing with all the voters here in Jackson Heights and Elmhurst.
All right. I'm sorry, Maria. Go ahead.
Nando, I just have one more question. We have a lot of people on Facebook and Twitter and supporting WBAI. Why do you think people should support WBAI?
I think it's important to have a progressive voice on the radio that is not bought out by corporate interests. I think it's important because you guys are presenting a point of view that not many other stations are. And I think it's really important for anybody that's out there, when you want to listen to really progressive thoughts and diversity, that you listen to WBAI.
Thank you. We once again just let everyone know that you are the husband of one of our producers here, the City Watch producer, Jeff Mann, and we welcome I think Anthony Miranda, who's I don't know if he's going to run for mayor or for the council on another district. Welcome. So Alfonso, we wish you the best, man, and yes. I hope that people get to know you better, so maybe they make a decision on your favor. So
well, Nando, thank you very much, and I would say that your show is my favorite, but I may be in trouble at home if I do. My husband may not be happy with it, so I'm not even going to go there. But I will tell you this: thank you very much for all that you guys do. You guys have an incredible show, and thank you just for speaking up for voices that are not being really that are out there. So thank you very much.
You're more than welcome.
Thank you, and good luck.
Thank you.
Bye.